Welcome to the Winbert Foundation Digital Inclusion Program. A business plan is a roadmap that explains what a business aims to achieve, how it will operate, who its customers are, and how it intends to generate revenue and grow. A well-prepared business plan helps entrepreneurs turn ideas into practical strategies, identify potential challenges, understand their market, and make informed business decisions. In this course, Creating a Business Plan, you will explore the essential components of a business plan and learn how to develop a clear and realistic plan for a new or existing business. By the end of this course, you would be able to explain the purpose and importance of a business plan, identify the key components of a business plan, describe a business idea, its products or services, and its target market, conduct basic market and competitor analysis, develop realistic business goals and strategies, prepare basic financial projections, including costs, pricing, revenue, and profit, identify potential business risks and strategies for managing them, develop a clear and practical business plan for their own business idea. Module 1. The purpose and importance of a business plan. A business plan is a written document that describes a business idea, its objectives, the strategies it will use to achieve those objectives, and the resources required to operate and grow the business. It serves as a roadmap that guides an entrepreneur from the initial business idea to implementation and expansion. Whether an entrepreneur is starting a small food business, launching a technology company, opening a fashion brand, or expanding an existing enterprise, a business plan provides structure and direction. One of the primary purposes of a business plan is to clarify the business idea. Entrepreneurs may have exciting ideas, but may not have considered how the idea will work in practice. Writing a business plan forces the entrepreneur to answer important questions. What problem does the business solve? Who are the customers? What products or services will be offered? How will the business make money? For example, someone may want to start a business selling healthy meals to office workers. A business plan would help the entrepreneur determine the target customers, appropriate meal prices, delivery methods, competitors, and expected costs. A business plan also helps entrepreneurs set clear goals and develop strategies. Instead of simply saying, "I want my business to grow," an entrepreneur can establish specific targets, such as acquiring 100 customers within 6 months or generating $2 million in revenue during the first year. The plan then identifies the marketing, sales, operational, and financial strategies required to achieve those goals. This makes the business more focused and allows the entrepreneur to measure progress. Another important purpose is understanding the market and customers. Before investing money, an entrepreneur needs to determine whether people actually want the product or service. For instance, an entrepreneur planning to open a premium laundry service in a neighborhood should investigate the number of potential customers, existing laundry businesses, their prices, and what customers consider important. This research can reveal opportunities and prevent costly mistakes. A business plan is also important for financial planning and decision-making. It enables entrepreneurs to estimate startup costs, operating expenses, expected sales, cash flow, and potential profits. Consider an entrepreneur who wants to open a small bakery with $3 million. A business plan may reveal that equipment, rent, staff salaries, ingredients, packaging, and marketing will require more money than initially expected. The entrepreneur can then adjust the plan or seek additional funding before starting operations. Furthermore, a business plan can help an entrepreneur attract investors, partners, or lenders. People who provide money to a business want to understand how their investment will be used and how the business intends to generate returns. A clear plan demonstrates that the entrepreneur has carefully considered the opportunity, risks, finances, and growth strategy. Finally, a business plan should not be viewed as a document that is written once and forgotten. Markets, customer preferences, technology, competition, and economic conditions change. Successful entrepreneurs regularly review and update their plans to reflect new realities. In this way, the business plan remains a practical management tool that supports informed decision-making, reduces uncertainty, and increases the likelihood of sustainable business success. Module 2. The key components of a business plan. A business plan is made up of several interconnected sections, with each section providing important information about the business. Although the exact format may differ depending on the type and size of the business, a good business plan should clearly communicate what the business does, who it serves, how it will operate, how it will make money, and how it intends to grow. Understanding these components helps entrepreneurs develop plans that are practical, convincing, and useful for decision-making. The first component is the executive summary. This provides a brief overview of the entire business plan. It normally includes the business name, business idea, products or services, target market, major objectives, and financial highlights. Although it appears first, entrepreneurs often write it after completing the other sections because it summarizes the entire plan. For example, an entrepreneur starting a packaged food business might use the executive summary to explain that the company produces affordable, hygienically packaged local snacks for students and young professionals. The business description explains the nature of the business in greater detail. It describes what the business does, the problem it intends to solve, its mission and vision, its location, ownership structure, and major objectives. For instance, a laundry business might identify its purpose as providing convenient and affordable laundry services to busy professionals who have limited time for household chores. Another important component is the products or services section. This explains exactly what the business will sell and the value customers will receive. The entrepreneur should describe the features and benefits of the products or services and explain what makes them different from competing alternatives. A digital marketing agency, for example, might offer social media management, advertising, content creation, and search engine optimization, with its competitive advantage being affordable packages for small businesses. The market analysis examines the industry, target customers, market demand, competitors, and relevant trends. This section helps the entrepreneur determine whether there is a viable market. For example, someone planning to sell children's educational materials should research the number of schools and parents in the target area, existing competitors, customer preferences, and prevailing prices before investing heavily in stock. The marketing and sales plan explains how customers will be attracted and converted into buyers. It may include branding, advertising, social media marketing, promotions, partnerships, pricing, distribution, and sales strategies. A fashion entrepreneur, for example, may use Instagram and TikTok advertising, influencer partnerships, referral discounts, and an online ordering system to reach potential customers. The operations and management plan explains how the business will function daily. It covers staffing, suppliers, equipment, production processes, technology, business location, and responsibilities. A restaurant, for example, needs to plan how ingredients will be sourced, meals prepared, staff scheduled, orders processed, and customers served. Finally, the financial plan presents the financial side of the business. It may include startup costs, operating expenses, pricing, sales forecasts, cash flow projections, profit estimates, and funding requirements. A strong financial plan helps an entrepreneur understand how much capital is needed and when the business may become profitable. The plan should also identify major risks and mitigation strategies, such as supply disruptions, changing customer demand, or increased competition. These components work together. A business plan is strongest when the information in each section supports the others. For example, projected sales should be realistic given the target market, marketing strategy, pricing, and available resources. Entrepreneurs should therefore avoid treating the business plan as merely a document for obtaining funding. It should serve as a practical roadmap for managing and growing the business. Module 3, Description of a business idea, its products or services, and its target market. A successful business begins with a clear understanding of what the business is, what it offers, and who it intends to serve. An entrepreneur may have an exciting idea, but an idea alone does not constitute a viable business. The entrepreneur must be able to clearly describe the problem the business intends to solve, the products or services it will provide, the value it will create, and the specific group of customers who are most likely to buy. These elements form an important foundation for developing an effective business plan. A business idea is a concept for providing a product or service that meets a particular need or solves a problem. When describing a business idea, an entrepreneur should explain what the business will do, the problem it addresses, how it will solve the problem, and why customers should choose it. For example, an entrepreneur may notice that many working parents struggle to prepare healthy meals every evening. The business idea could therefore be a meal preparation and delivery service that provides affordable, nutritious meals to busy families. The next step is to clearly describe the products or services the business will offer. A product is a physical item sold to customers, such as clothing, food, furniture, or electronic devices. A service is an activity or professional solution provided to customers, such as consulting, transportation, tutoring, graphic design, or digital marketing. The entrepreneur should explain the main features, benefits, quality, pricing approach, and unique selling proposition of the offering. For instance, a fashion business may sell affordable, custom-made corporate clothing and distinguish itself by offering measurement services and fast delivery. Entrepreneurs should focus not only on what they sell, but also on the value they provide. Customers generally purchase products or services because they expect them to solve a problem, satisfy a need, save time, reduce costs, improve convenience, or provide another benefit. For example, a mobile car wash service is not simply selling car washing. It is selling convenience by allowing customers to have their vehicles cleaned at their homes or workplaces. Another critical element is identifying the target market. The target market is the specific group of people or organizations that a business intends to serve. Entrepreneurs can define their target market using factors such as age, gender, income level, occupation, location, lifestyle, interests, business size, or purchasing behavior. A business selling premium office furniture, for example, may target established businesses and professionals rather than the general population. Consider an entrepreneur who wants to establish an affordable computer training center. Instead of targeting everyone, the entrepreneur might identify unemployed young adults and small business owners in a particular city as the primary target market. This makes it easier to design suitable courses, determine appropriate pricing, select effective advertising channels, and communicate a relevant message. A strong business plan should also explain why the target market needs the offering and demonstrate that there is sufficient demand. Entrepreneurs should avoid assuming that everyone will buy their products. They can conduct surveys, interviews, observations, or small test sales to understand customer needs and preferences. This information helps them refine their products and services before making significant investments. Ultimately, clearly describing the business idea, products or services, and target market enables an entrepreneur to build a focused business strategy. When these elements are clearly defined, decisions about marketing, pricing, operations, staffing, and finances become easier to make. A clear description also helps potential investors, partners, employees, and customers understand exactly what the business offers and whom it is designed to serve. Module 4, How to Conduct Basic Market and Competitor Analysis. Market and competitor analysis is an important part of developing a successful business plan. Market analysis involves studying the customers, industry, demand, trends, and conditions surrounding a business, while competitor analysis involves examining businesses that offer similar or alternative products or services. These analyses help entrepreneurs understand whether a business opportunity is viable and how the business can position itself effectively. The first step is to identify the target market clearly. An entrepreneur should determine who is most likely to purchase the product or service. Important characteristics may include age, location, occupation, income level, lifestyle, business size, interests, and purchasing behavior. For example, an entrepreneur planning to establish a digital skills training center in Lagos might target university students, unemployed graduates, young professionals, and small business owners, rather than attempting to serve everyone. The next step is to understand customer needs and demand. Entrepreneurs should investigate the problems customers experience and determine whether people are willing to pay for a solution. This can be done through surveys, interviews, questionnaires, observation, social media polls, or small-scale product testing. For example, before launching a healthy meal delivery service, an entrepreneur could survey office workers to find out their preferred meals, acceptable prices, delivery times, and reasons for choosing healthy food. Entrepreneurs should also examine the size and characteristics of the market. This does not always require complicated research. Basic information such as the number of potential customers in a location, how frequently they purchase similar products, and the approximate amount they spend can provide useful insights. If an entrepreneur discovers that only a small number of people in the proposed location are interested in the product, the business model may need to be changed or the target market expanded. Another important activity is identifying market trends and opportunities. Trends can include changes in technology, customer preferences, lifestyles, regulations, or purchasing habits. For instance, the growing use of online payments and social media has created opportunities for businesses to sell products and services digitally. An entrepreneur who identifies such trends early may be able to develop an advantage over competitors. Competitor analysis begins by identifying direct and indirect competitors. Direct competitors sell similar products or services to the same customers, while indirect competitors provide different solutions to the same customer need. For example, a traditional taxi company and a ride-hailing platform may compete for the same transportation customers, even though their business models differ. Entrepreneurs should compare competitors based on pricing, product or service quality, customer service, location, marketing methods, distribution channels, strengths and weaknesses. They can obtain information by visiting competitors' businesses, studying their websites and social media pages, reading customer reviews, and observing their promotional activities. For example, if several competing restaurants have affordable prices but receive complaints about slow delivery, a new restaurant could differentiate itself through faster and more reliable delivery. The final step is to use the findings to identify a competitive advantage. The entrepreneur should ask, what can my business do better, differently, faster, cheaper, or more conveniently? The answer should influence the business's pricing, marketing, product development, and operations. Market and competitor analysis should also be reviewed periodically because customer needs, competitors, and market conditions can change. Module 5, How to Develop Realistic Business Goals and Strategies. Every successful business needs clear goals and practical strategies. A business goal describes what an entrepreneur wants to achieve, while a strategy explains how the entrepreneur intends to achieve it. Without clear goals, entrepreneurs may operate without direction, making it difficult to measure progress or determine whether the business is succeeding. Realistic goals and strategies provide a framework for making decisions, allocating resources, motivating employees, and monitoring business performance. The first step in developing realistic goals is to understand the current position of the business. Entrepreneurs should consider their available capital, skills, employees, equipment, customer base, market conditions, and competition. Goals should be challenging enough to encourage growth, but realistic enough to be achievable with available resources. For example, a new small bakery with limited equipment may set a goal of acquiring 50 regular customers within 3 months, rather than immediately attempting to supply hundreds of supermarkets. Effective business goals should be specific and measurable. Instead of stating, "I want my business to make more money," an entrepreneur could state, "I want to increase monthly sales from 500,000 to 750,000 within 6 months." This goal provides a clear target and time frame against which performance can be measured. Entrepreneurs can also use the SMART framework, which encourages goals to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It is also useful to divide goals into short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. Short-term goals may be achieved within weeks or months, such as gaining 30 new customers. Medium-term goals may involve expanding into a new location within 1 or 2 years, while long-term goals could include becoming a leading brand within a particular industry. Breaking larger ambitions into smaller milestones makes them easier to manage and evaluate. After establishing goals, the entrepreneur must develop strategies for achieving them. Strategies should identify the specific actions and resources required. For example, if a fashion entrepreneur's goal is to increase monthly sales by 30%, possible strategies could include improving social media advertising, introducing referral discounts, expanding product options, partnering with influencers, and creating an online ordering system. Strategies should be based on the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats facing the business. An entrepreneur should consider what the business does well, where it needs improvement, opportunities available in the market, and potential threats from competitors or economic changes. This helps prevent entrepreneurs from creating strategies based purely on assumptions. Financial resources must also be considered. An entrepreneur should avoid creating strategies that require resources the business cannot afford. For example, a small restaurant may want to attract more customers but may not have enough funds for expensive television advertising. It could instead use social media marketing, customer referrals, partnerships with local organizations, and promotional offers. Finally, business goals and strategies should be reviewed regularly. Unexpected circumstances may make an original goal unrealistic, or new opportunities may make a more ambitious goal possible. Entrepreneurs should monitor key indicators such as sales, expenses, customer growth, profit, and market response. Adjusting a strategy does not necessarily mean failure. It demonstrates the entrepreneur's ability to respond intelligently to changing circumstances. Module 6. How to prepare basic financial projections, including costs, pricing, revenue, and profit. Financial projections are estimates of how much money a business expects to spend, earn, and retain over a specific period. They help entrepreneurs determine whether a business idea is financially realistic and provide a basis for making informed decisions. A good financial projection does not need to be complicated, especially for a small or newly established business. It should, however, be based on reasonable assumptions about costs, prices, sales volume, and expected customer demand. The first step is to identify the business's costs. Costs are the expenses incurred in starting and operating a business. They can generally be divided into startup costs and operating costs. Startup costs are expenses required to establish the business, such as equipment, registration, furniture, initial stock, branding, and setup. Operating costs are ongoing expenses such as rent, salaries, transportation, electricity, internet, packaging, advertising, and supplies. For example, an entrepreneur starting a small catering business may need to budget for cooking equipment and registration initially, while food ingredients, gas, packaging, and transportation may continue to be regular operating expenses. Entrepreneurs should also distinguish between fixed and variable costs. Fixed costs generally remain relatively stable regardless of the number of units produced, such as monthly rent. Variable costs change according to production or sales volume. For example, a baker producing 100 cakes will generally spend more on flour, eggs, sugar, and packaging than when producing 20 cakes. Understanding these differences helps entrepreneurs calculate the amount needed to operate the business. The next step is to determine pricing. A selling price should cover the cost of producing or obtaining the product or service while allowing the business to make a reasonable profit. Entrepreneurs should also consider competitors' prices, customer willingness to pay, perceived value, and market conditions. For example, if producing one customized t-shirt costs $5,000 and the entrepreneur wants a $3,000 gross margin per shirt, a possible selling price would be $8,000, subject to market conditions and other business expenses. Revenue refers to the total income generated from selling products or services before expenses are deducted. It can be estimated using the formula: revenue equals selling price times quantity sold. If a business sells 200 products at $8,000 each, its projected revenue would be $1,600,000. After estimating revenue and expenses, the entrepreneur can calculate profit. A basic formula is profit equals revenue minus total costs. If the business generates $1,600,000 in revenue and incurs $1,200,000 in total costs, the projected profit is $400,000. Entrepreneurs should remember that high revenue does not necessarily mean high profit if expenses are also high. Financial projections should be based on realistic assumptions rather than wishful thinking. An entrepreneur opening a new restaurant should not assume that every table will be occupied every day. Instead, the entrepreneur could estimate customer numbers based on location, opening hours, competitor activity, pricing, and market research. It is also useful to prepare different scenarios, such as conservative, expected, and optimistic projections. Finally, entrepreneurs should regularly compare actual financial results with their projections. If expenses are higher or sales are lower than expected, the entrepreneur can adjust pricing, reduce unnecessary costs, improve marketing, or revise sales targets. Financial projections therefore serve as a practical tool for planning, controlling expenses, measuring performance, and making better business decisions. Module 7. How to identify potential business risks and strategies for managing them. Every business faces risks. A business risk is an uncertain event or circumstance that could negatively affect a company's finances, operations, customers, reputation, or ability to achieve its objectives. Risk does not mean that a business will necessarily fail. Rather, it means that an entrepreneur must recognize possible problems and prepare appropriate responses. Effective risk management enables entrepreneurs to make better decisions, protect business resources, and improve the chances of long-term survival and growth. The first step in managing risk is to identify potential risks. Entrepreneurs should examine every major area of their business and ask what could go wrong. Common risks include financial problems, changes in customer demand, competition, supply disruptions, equipment failure, employee turnover, cyber threats, regulatory changes, and reputational damage. For example, a small restaurant that depends on one supplier for its main ingredients faces a significant supply risk if that supplier suddenly becomes unable to deliver. Business risks can be classified into different categories. Financial risks may include inadequate capital, excessive debt, unexpected expenses, or poor cash flow. Operational risks may arise from equipment breakdowns, poor processes, unreliable suppliers, or inadequate staffing. Market risks occur when customer preferences change, new competitors enter the market, or demand declines. Technology and cybersecurity risks may include data loss, system failures, hacking, or unauthorized access to customer information. Once risks have been identified, entrepreneurs should assess their likelihood and potential impact. Not every risk requires the same level of attention. A risk that is highly likely and could cause serious financial damage should receive greater priority than an unlikely event with a minor impact. For example, a clothing business may consider stock damage from poor storage to be a moderate risk, while depending entirely on one major customer for most of its revenue may represent a much more serious risk. After assessing risks, the entrepreneur should develop risk management strategies. One common strategy is risk avoidance, which involves changing an activity to eliminate the risk. Another is risk reduction, where steps are taken to decrease the likelihood or impact of the risk. For example, a business can reduce the risk of stock shortages by working with multiple suppliers instead of relying on one. Risk transfer is another strategy. This involves shifting some financial consequences of a risk to another party, often through insurance or contractual agreements. For example, a business may obtain insurance coverage for its equipment or premises. Entrepreneurs can also use risk acceptance, where a relatively small or unavoidable risk is recognized and monitored without taking expensive measures to eliminate it. Businesses should also prepare contingency plans. A contingency plan explains what the business will do if a significant problem occurs. For instance, an online business that depends heavily on electricity and internet access could have backup power, alternative internet providers, regular data backups, and alternative communication channels. These preparations can reduce downtime when unexpected problems occur. Finally, risk management should be an ongoing process. New risks can emerge as a business grows, enters new markets, adopts new technology, or faces changes in the economy. Entrepreneurs should regularly review their risks, update their contingency plans, and monitor warning signs. A business that anticipates challenges rather than simply reacting to them is better positioned to protect its resources, maintain customer confidence, and achieve sustainable growth. Module 8, How to Develop a Clear and Practical Business Plan for Your Own Business Idea. Developing a business plan is the practical application of everything learned throughout this chapter. A good business plan transforms a business idea into a structured roadmap that explains what the entrepreneur intends to achieve, how the business will operate, who the customers are, how the business will compete, and how it will generate sustainable revenue. The objective is not to create a complicated document, but to develop a clear, realistic, and useful plan that can guide actual business decisions. The first step is to define the business idea clearly. The entrepreneur should state the business name, describe the product or service, identify the problem being solved, and explain the value offered to customers. For example, an entrepreneur may develop a business that provides affordable digital marketing services to small businesses that cannot afford large advertising agencies. The plan should clearly explain how the service will help these businesses attract customers and increase sales. Next, the entrepreneur should identify the target market and conduct basic market analysis. The plan should describe the ideal customers, their needs, location, purchasing behavior, and ability to pay. The entrepreneur should also identify competitors and examine their prices, strengths, weaknesses, products, and marketing strategies. For instance, if several competitors provide similar digital marketing services, The entrepreneur may decide to differentiate the business through affordable packages, personalized support, or specialized services for small businesses. The next stage is to establish realistic business goals and strategies. Goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, rather than stating, "I want many customers," an entrepreneur could set a goal of acquiring 30 paying clients within the first 6 months. The strategy might include social media marketing, referrals, networking, introductory offers, and partnerships with business associations. The entrepreneur should then develop an operations and management plan explaining how the business will function. This should cover the business location, equipment, suppliers, employees, technology, production processes, customer service, and daily responsibilities. A small catering business, for example, may identify its kitchen facilities, ingredient suppliers, delivery arrangements, staff requirements, and procedures for receiving and fulfilling customer orders. The financial plan should estimate startup costs, operating expenses, pricing, projected sales, revenue, cash flow, and profit. Entrepreneurs should use realistic figures rather than assuming that every potential customer will make a purchase. For example, a new bakery could estimate the number of cakes it expects to sell each month, calculate the cost of ingredients and packaging, determine an appropriate selling price, and estimate its expected profit. Finally, the entrepreneur should identify potential risks and contingency strategies. Possible risks could include changing customer demand, increased competition, supplier problems, equipment failure, insufficient cash flow, or regulatory changes. The entrepreneur should explain how these risks will be reduced or managed. The completed plan should then be reviewed for consistency. The target market should support the sales projections, the pricing should reflect costs and customer value, and the strategies should be achievable with available resources. A practical business plan should not remain on paper. The entrepreneur should use it to guide implementation, measure progress, and make informed decisions. As the business grows and market conditions change, the plan should also be reviewed and updated. Ultimately, a clear business plan gives an entrepreneur greater direction, improves preparedness, helps attract potential investors or partners, and increases the likelihood of building a sustainable and profitable business. We have now come to the end of this course. Thank you.